everyone, and welcome back to Deerfox Draws. I'm Deerfox, and today, because I'm short on time, I'm going to be making a video a bit different from my other ones. Instead of an art or drawing related video, I'm going to be making a series related video. Today, I will be doing a 20 questions based off of the Warriors 20 questions that I've seen floating around the interwebs, even though it's kind of an old challenge. And I will be doing a Percy Jackson version. I edited some of the questions to be about the Percy Jackson series, and when I say Percy Jackson, I mean the books overarching by Rick Riordan that, as fans, we collectively call the Percy Jackson fandom, universe, you know what I mean. But I will be answering the 20 questions about that, and I hope that you enjoy the video. Let's start with a quick little introduction to our questions. We have the how did you get into the series, your favorite arc or series, favorite book, favorite short or novella, favorite protagonist group, favorite character, least favorite character description, favorite god or goddess, favorite villain, favorite power, overrated character, underrated character, favorite minor character, favorite pairing, least favorite pairing, favorite friendship, favorite moment, most tragic death, and the favorite battle or fight scene. So let's jump right in. Starting off with how did you get into the series? I got into the series because of a school reading assignment, as I'm sure at least some people did. We were assigned to read the first book, and I fell in love with the series and speed read the rest, and then I found out that Heroes of Olympus existed and jumped into that too. And from there, I just kind of read them all over and over again until more books came out. I tried the Kane Chronicles, and I didn't really understand them at the time, so I had to come back to them and reread them later, and I appreciate them more now. And then just within the past 3 years, maybe, I discovered the Magnus Chase series, which is one of my favorites that he's ever written. I love the Magnus Chase series so much. And so that's how I got into the series. Next up is my favorite arc/series. My favorite arc of the main timeline was Trials of Apollo. I really enjoyed that series, closely followed by the Magnus Chase series. As previously mentioned, I really adored that. I thought it was beautifully written, and it made me laugh so much. It was lovely. Next up, we have our favorite book. That would be, oh goodness, maybe House of Hades? Don't hold me to that. I have read House of Hades the most, I think, just because, like, we get to see the underworld, and I was really like, ooh, monsters, ooh, scary thing, ooh, shiny. Tara, what are you eating? My goodness, she's evil. She likes House of Hades too, don't you? She nodded. You just, yeah, but Tara, how dare you? Back from chinchilla wrangling. Next up is my favorite short/novella, and it's time for a really sad confession. I have not actually read the Kane Chronicle Percy Jackson crossovers. I'm sorry. Boo hiss. I haven't been able to get my hands on them because I don't feel like ordering them, and I can't borrow them from the library because, we can't go to the library. But so I had to pick from the very limited selection of shorts that I have read, and from that I chose 9 from the 9 Worlds because we get to read from Mallory's perspective and from Alex's perspective. Like, are you kidding me? Yeah, I love that. That was, yes. Okay. Next up is my favorite protagonist group. My favorite protagonist group was the Magnus Chase protagonists, so Floor 19. I adored all of those characters, and I really loved the dynamic between them, with like Mallory as like the glue that holds the floor together, and like just they can encompass so many different personalities, and they were such a close-knit family, and they had like real dynamic. Oh, it was so fun. I love those guys. Then on to my favorite character. So my favorite character, Yeah, so it's Nico. I love Nico so much. Nico D'Angelo is in my eyes, the best character in all of them. Closely followed, I will add, by Alex Fierro and Leo Valdez, in my opinion. I love dearly both of those characters, but nobody can compare to Tara. Stop, you're interrupting. Nobody can compare to Nico. Explain time for Nico. I feel like he's a very relatable character. He doesn't kind of follow that trope where it's like, oh, a terrible thing has happened to me. Like, I have to keep going because, like, this universe needs me. And, like, I have to be heroic. And he literally is just like, no, I'm out. Bianca died. I'm done. And I was like, okay, that is a very... that I would done the same thing, bro. And then he gets into that whole, like, moment where just he goes from this happy card game loving kid to just depressed and anxious and, like, lonely. And oh my gosh, it was hard to read. At first, I didn't really like Nico, and then all of a sudden I took a step back and I looked at his character and I realized, wow, he really has some justification. And then also it's because he's part of the what I consider the good hair club, and other members including but not limited to Hazel Levesque, Rachel Dare, Alex Fierro, Magnus Chase, Kayla Knowles, Lavinia Asimov, and several others. But hair is my favorite thing to draw, so personally I really enjoy a character with fun hair or like interesting hair. Hair is right up there with flowy sleeved t-shirts and bunnies and hats. So yeah, it's pretty important. So now for a little bit of a speed round. I'm going to do the next several questions very quickly. Least favorite character, Walt Stone. I didn't like him very much. I don't know. Favorite character description, Alex Fierro. The description for Alex was heavenly. We got outfits, we've got colors, we've got dyed hair. There's only so many characters in this series with dyed hair. It's lovely. Next up, we have our favorite god. It is actually a tie between Iris and Freya for me. Next up, we have our favorite villain. My main is Python for a very silly reason, because he's described as being able to grow limbs. So that means he could be a snake, this giant snake with tiny feet, or he could grow like a tiny top hat. Like, there's possibilities. My favorite, like, sub-villain or just monster, a side note, is the Sphinx from the Labyrinth book. It was so funny. Next up, my favorite power is the Divine Words by Sadie. That was very interesting. It's really power of language, man. My most overrated character. Prepare for the Rotten Tomatoes to be thrown. It's Piper McLean. I love Piper, don't get me wrong. Piper is amazing, but I don't know. I love Piper, but I feel like there are other characters that have more than she's attributed to. I can't explain myself right now. That's a whole separate thing. Rachel Dare is the most underrated character. Some people don't like her because of the whole Percy thing. Leave her alone. She knew, but I love her, so. Favorite minor character is, this is really embarrassing, but a three-way tie. Fleecy, who works for Iris, was the ditziest, most lovable air spirit I've ever seen. I want to be friends with her. Kayla Knowles, I think that's how you pronounce her last name. I loved her aesthetic, and she... I can't even qualify to the Olympics till I'm 16! Yeah. And then Inge, I hope that's how you pronounce her name, the cow girl. I forgot the exact name. I feel so terrible. That was in love with Hearthstone. She's so sweet. Next up is my favorite pairing, and that ought to be very obvious from my favorite character. Will Solus, Nico, D'Angelo, all the way, forever. My least favorite pairing, Mallory and Halfborn. It doesn't seem like either of them are happy in that, so it just doesn't strike me as a healthy relationship. Favorite friendship is Hearthstone and Blitzen. They're so cute. I love that friendship. Oh my gosh. Favorite moment? There are so many. And oh goodness. The whole scene when Magnus and Alex and TJ were in the pottery shack was really fun. I loved every single moment of dynamic between Meg and Apollo, but maybe my favorite, and this is it's a sad scene. I don't like what it's portraying, but I like the characterization that's expressed from movement and like our action rather than voice, is when Nico finds out about Jason's death. And just the silent like walk away really got me. I was like, oh my gosh, that's full of so much emotion. Most tragic death. This doesn't even have to go with saying. It's obviously the arrow of Dodona. No, I'm just kidding. It's Jason. I shed real tears for Jason. I had to put the book down. I cried. I really did cry. I was like, oh no, it's Colin Creevey from Harry Potter all over again. Final question is the favorite battle/fight scene. I don't really pick favorites for battles or fight scenes. It's usually just whichever one was most recent. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say the fight in the Tower of Nero at the end of its namesake, the Tower of Nero. And like a favorite skirmish against like a monster is the salsa battle, because the salsa battle was really funny. Who doesn't like battle salsa? Like, yes. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I had a lot of fun making this video. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like. If you really enjoyed, please consider subscribing. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you. Bye. Woo!